to use electricity rather than oil. Open up a new chapter of green future. Currently, we're looking at the harvest along Yangtze River. You can see a lot of fruits, that is the orange, a special orange in this area, different from the normal oranges. The orange here has to mature over 14 months. Especially when it comes to the end of spring and the beginning of the autumn, you can see that this area with abundant fruit and can smell the fragrance of fruit. And the vast of green forest was planted by the local people and has made great contribution to the economic development in this area. Currently, there are 3 villages whose revenue is more than 100 million RMB. Renovation of Honghu district and restoration of the historic architecture has set as the direction of development in this region. Jingzhou ancient town has witnessed a new development opportunity. When we enter into the aeroplane, there lies the Jingzhou city, and the whole riverway is around 400 meters. And there are a lot of boats swinging on the river, and along the river there are plantations. Jingzhou City, according to the guideway to champion environmental protection and still large-scale development, we can see that a vivid development that's environmental protection oriented. From the previous video, we see the vastness of the alluvial plain along Jingzhou City, and we have arranged 3 journalists in Yichang, Jingzhou Causeway, as well as Honghu Lake to give you a report, and later we will have them to give you an introduction. Firstly, let's have Hailin. I am currently standing in Yichang, the chemistry factory that's been visited by President Xi Jinping. According to President Xi Jinping, that we need to champion environmental protection and secure large-scale development. The reason why he mentioned this is we are going to explain by 3 stories. And the core of those stories is about the ecological protection along Yangtze River. What's the story? We will unveil later. Okay, along the Jingzhou Causeway, we have Cheng Xian.
好的，主持人，万里长江显在荆州，我现在呢就在荆江大堤上，长江呢就在我的身后。
The most dangerous spot along Yangtze River is Jingzhou. Speaking of which, people might think about the anti-flood situation and what has happened since then. According to the requirement to champion environment protection and execute large-scale development, what's the answer of the local people in Jingzhou? We will tell you later. Thank you. And our journalist in Honghu is leaving. What's your story? I am currently at the Honghu Lake, and we have prepared 2 images for you. This is the lotus in Honghu. And another image, it's a lake that is plotted with various bamboos. And today we are going to talk about the flood protection strategy in Honghu. We'll tell you later. Yes, we look forward to your stories. The journey along the Yangtze River has involved various activities, including posting images and telling about stories along Yangtze River. If you have the images or stories that you want to tell us, please do scan the QR code and be involved in our interaction section. Now, let's see what the Wuhan netizen has to say. For me, Wuhan is a city of love because me and my wife met here along the Yangtze River. It is said that as long as you meet along the Yangtze River bridge, you can have a story determined for a lifelong time. And I am currently on the bridge. I believe that our life is very beautiful, and Changjiang River witnessed our love and has nurtured our life. Most importantly, we are about to enter into a brand new chapter because my wife is 3 months pregnant and we are becoming parents. Are you happy? Yes, I am. Okay, we are really happy for you. We witnessed a really happy couple. And Hubei has the longest bank line of Yangtze River. And now we are going to talk about Jingzhou Causeway along Yangtze River. What's the other stories from the netizen? I am currently at the Mojing Mountain, the south to Yangtze River. I'm breathing the fresh air here, and you can see the observatory station here. You can see the beauty of Yangtze River. This is very grand, and there are a lot of people jogging, climbing, hiking here. And I also come here to observe the beauty of the mountain as well as the river. And that gives me a bright, new, fresh start of every day. After seeing the 2 videos from our netizen, I am really touched because you can see what kind of interaction is between the Yangtze River and the local people. To protect the Yangtze River is to protect our life. And that was Yichang. Just a few days ago, President Xi Jinping visited a chemistry factory, and he reiterated that cooperation is the main body to environmental protection. We must let go the excessive capacity and pay more attention to environmental protection. How can we do that? How can we do that orderly? And how can we restore the Yangtze River and give a very good answer to the questionnaire? We are currently at the Xiaoting industrial zone. Hailin, can you tell us the stories you mentioned before? Yes, I'll tell you the stories. And the beginning of the story, from the beginning of the story, I'd like to give you this video. And you are looking at the piano factory along Yangtze River. When the weather goes well, you can see a lot of same occasions like this. Many people might not know Yichang is indeed a city of piano. One of the 6 pianos was manufactured in Yichang. You cannot imagine that before. And the abundant natural forests of mine and forest has made the restoration of forest a big problem. I am currently at the chemistry factory that's been visited by President Xi Jinping a few days ago, and this is one of the largest fine chemistry. And when I'm here, I see that the renovation and restoration is still being conducted orderly. Currently, the local workers are removing some of the factories, campuses, and what's making it different is that they are not using some large facilities and equipment, but the total removal is conducted by workers manually or by some small facilities and equipment. That is just like doctors doing fine surgeries in the surgery room. Because this factory is just within 100 meters to the Yangtze River, we must excuse from a second damage to the Yangtze River. And we know that along Yangtze River there are more than this one factory being removed. And we have also prepared one video of the chemistry industry along Yichang. Xiaoting district is the main district for chemistry industry. Phosphorus resource in this area made it a very good base for chemistry industry, and it has already generated more than 100 billion RMB. And in order to get water more conveniently, there are 134 chemistry factories along Yangtze River, and the most closest one is just 50 meters. As time goes by, there are more and more chemistry industries posing more risk and threat to the environment along Yangtze River. Once one chemistry is leaked, and very severe problem and consequences might posed. And we are aimed at that by the end of 2020, we must remove most of the chemistry factories. In the video, we see that there are a lot of chemistry industry and factories along Yangtze River. And the local people love but also hate the chemistry factory, because once you touch the chemistry industry, it might get a lot of other stakeholders involved. People might not understand the terms in this post, but these terms are very interrelated with our life. For example, this is a chemistry that's very related to laundry and grass removal. And also, this one is also highly related to the lipsticks that we usually use for ladies. There are also some raw materials for food industry, for example, the color added materials, etc. And also, the chemistry here is used for chips and semiconductors. Once this upstream industry is removed, a lot of downstream industries is impacted. And how do we solve the conflict between the environmental protection and economic development? President Xi Jinping mentioned that to eschew large-scale development is not to prevent development. We just need to keep a balance between the economic development and environmental protection. And that remark has set out a new direction for the local factories. And currently, the local government has planned out 10 chemistry factories, and who will going to have a new direction of green development. And I am currently standing right here. What impressed me most is that after they have removed these factories, they have planted new plants here. Although they look quite young, once you think of the efforts behind this plantation growing, then you can see how determined they are to champion environmental protection. And when we come back a few years ago, you can see that we have give the forest back along the Yangtze River, and you might even see a lot of new generations to get to embrace the Yangtze River and to accompany the Yangtze River grow up. What is more expressing than the companionship? Thank you so much. And from your report, we can see the Yichang's determination in environmental protection. Now, we have already seen that the largest chemistry factory is about to move to a new spot. Apart from that, we are also restoring and renovating and also remove the and shut down new power factories. And we know that this is a complicated and complex project to execute large-scale development and to champion environmental protection.
好，继续我们的节目。在我们新媒体提前征集的爱长江
Okay, let's continue the
和视频当中，
program.
我们发现有很多网友呢都对长江边的野生动物非常的感兴趣。
We noticed that a lot of netizens are very interested in the wild animals along Yangtze River. Let's look at some of the images we received from the netizens. And one netizen mentioned that in Shennongjia there is a kind of special bee that is mainly habit in along the mountainside of the Shennongjia. And after seeing this image, we have contacted this netizen and telling him that we are very interested in his story. Now, with his assistance, we find this spot, and this is the place where the special bee inhabit. This is the Guanmen Mountain in Shennongjia district. You can see there are hundreds of beehives. I wonder whether I can see the black bears stealing the honeybee. And in Shennongjia Forestry District, black bee is very common, and that is because of the forest and the mountain. There are a lot of black bee here. I believe that a lot of people might feel regretted that we missed the image that the black bee is stealing the honey. However, don't feel regretted because there are journalists locating there who's waiting for the black bee stealing honey. And we have prepared a video for you. You can see that the black bear is stealing the honey. Now he's approaching and licking the honey on the box. But apparently, licking cannot satisfy the black bear. Then he came back and now he's still in the box. He's about to move the box, and the bees is going to give the black bear a repay. However, for the sake of the honey, the black bee is quite reckless and aggressive. He's about to move the whole box. Now we have seen the war between the black bear and the bee. One of the most important message that's sent out by the video is because it's how ecological that area is. That will be all for that story. If you have more interesting stories, please do scan the QR code and send the story to us.
好，沿着长江，我们继续顺流而下。长江流经宜昌。
Along Yangtze River, let's continue our journey.
长江之险
When
荆州，
Yangtze River reaches Yichang, it reaches Jingzhou, and the safety of this area is very critical to the lower stream of Yangtze River. Let's see what's happening in Jingzhou Causeway. What's happening in Jingzhou Causeway, Chengshen? Okay, we have come to the Paddy Field from the Jingzhou Causeway. Historically, the water surface elevation in this area is higher than the average, and this place is like the water Great Wall. We can see there are a lot of plantation and forest along this area. It is like an ecological belt along Yangtze River. However, previously, what I'm standing at, it's at highly risk of flood. There are a lot of investment of paddy fields and aquaculture ponds. Once there are flood, this place is highly in danger. But things have changed. Why? I'm going to introduce two plantations here. And the first one is the paddy field. Currently, they are planting spring crop, and the farmers are very busy. What's different from the previous situation is that the farmers are in a cooperation with each other in a collaborative way. And the revenue of this session is around 800 to 900 per year. And the second object to protect the environment is about the shrimp. And each spring, the local people will also give the forest back to the Yangtze River, which also improve the water quality. And that is because of the improvement of the water quality, the local people are able to raise shrimp and king prawn. You can see that the king prawn's length is just like my microphone. How many king prawn did you collect this morning? It's around 200 jing, and the price for the king prawn is around 30 RMB per jing. So this morning you have collected around 6,000 RMB. When you catch the king prawn, okay, let's just give the audience a demonstration on catching king prawns. So firstly, you would need to put net inside the pond, because the king prawn cannot run away when they enter the net. So the next day you can harvest. You can see there are already some king prawn floating in the net. Okay, there are already a lot, around dozens. Okay, the net is kind of heavy. What's the weight of these? It's around 30 jing. So you can gain around 1,000 revenue in this net. This place is one of the most king prawn bringing location in China. And when they have caught the king prawn will go to the dinner table of the local people by the night. So growing crops and raising king prawns made great contribution to the local economic development. However, we also need to control the use of fertilizers and pesticides so to protect the environment. President Xi Jinping talked a few days ago that we need to strengthen the environmental protection when we develop the economy. There are some safety dangers and risk of the practice previously. However, now economic gain is all we get. Yes, we see that Jingzhou Causeway is witnessing a new chapter. Honghu Lake is one of the most important wetland protection area, and a lot of rare species inhabit in this area. At the beginning of today's program, the correspondent in Honghu Lake mentioned that we are going to protect special species in the lake. What's the story behind it? I am currently with the policeman in the lake protection region. Firstly, we need to do is to identify the sediment and dirt on the lake, and then we will use this net to sort out the dirt and sediments. We also need to observe the migratory birds along the lake, because we are about to get on the bank due to the time limitation. We see that the local people are very diligent because they need to patrol along the lake every day in the morning. Okay, talking back to the birds in the Honghu Lake. The first kind is summer migratory bird, which means that these birds are going to breed in summer times in Honghu. And the second is winter migratory bird, and the third is all year round migratory bird. And by the as of today, we are going to see the largest species of summer migratory bird. This is summer migratory bird. There are around 10,500 migratory birds along there. It is very difficult and tricky for us to shoot these birds because they are flying in formation. The object for that is to protect themselves from predators. And later, currently we are looking at the winter migratory birds. Not so long after, they are going to fly in north. Currently, the season for the migratory birds are just about time because they are breeding already. Now we are looking at a special local migratory bird, and we're looking at the eggs of them. You see that the white egg is getting yellow. It is not because it's getting dirty, but because they are getting protections. The patrolman will also try to patrol the birds very carefully so to not disturb their breeding. The local people will go to patrol along the lake in the morning and then go back to their homes in the night time. So just now we show you this image on the Honghu Lake. There are bamboos potted intensively on the lake, and we have teared down like more than 70%. That is represented by 10,000s of bamboos, and this is one of them. Previously, the bamboo were like toxic needles inside the Honghu Lake. However, according to the guidance to champion environmental protection and eschew large-scale development, the local people have strengthened their effort in environmental protection and have removed most of the toxin needles on the lake. However, there comes this problem. After we have removed this bamboo, what happened to the fishermen? Okay, now just on the opposite side of the lake, you can see this fishing boat, and that one boat is going to be torn down according to the local government's guidance. And currently, most of the fishermen on the Honghu Lake have already get a transition of their work from fishing to on-land work. This is one of an important textbook in this region, and it will introduce the species of migratory birds and also the plantation species along Honghu Lake. So kids are getting educated on environmental protection when they are very young. After we have seen the removal of the bamboos on the lake, we must know that there are still more efforts to be done to protect the environment. And we aim to give more forest back to Honghu Lake within 5 years, so to attract more and more migratory birds coming back to this area. Thank you, Li Bing, for your report. And now we have understood the efforts done by the local people on Honghu Lake. In the afternoon, the correspondent, are going to visit Hunan Province, and we are going to visit one of the largest freshwater lake in Honghu Province. That is Honghu Dongting Lake. This afternoon, we are going to show you the harbor of Dongting Lake, as well as we are going to visit the wetland of the Dongting Lake. And after that, we will have an in-depth understanding to the changes along that area.